Lipids are organic molecules that are insoluble in water. When they are placed in water, several will clump together, exposing their polar hydrophilic groups, if they have any, to the water. This will cover their non-polar hydrophobic groups from the water. Several different types of lipids, the most popular being fats and oils, which are also called triglycerides, but others include glycolipids and phospholipids that are found in cell membranes, waxes like beeswax and earwax, terpenes like rubber and some vitamins, and then steroids like cholesterol, estrogen, and testosterone. In this section, we are going to focus on triglyceride and phospholipids, which are esters that are formed from a fatty acid that's combined to an alcohol. The alcohol is an organic molecule that contains a hydroxyl group. In the case of triglycerides and phospholipids, it will be glycerol, which has 3 hydroxyl groups. Fatty acids, on the other hand, are acids that contain a carboxyl group and is made up of a long hydrocarbon tail. They are usually between 15 to 17 carbons long and can have single or double bonds. When a fatty acid has a double bond, it is called unsaturated, and when it has more than one double bond, it's called polyunsaturated. This is because it is not saturated with the maximum amount of hydrogen atoms. When a fatty acid is unsaturated, it creates a kink in the tail compared to a saturated fatty acid that is packed tightly together. These kinks in the tail lowers the melting point of the triglyceride. Examples are like plant oils, which are liquid at room temperature. These oils can undergo industrial partial rehydrogenation to increase the melting point and produce products such as margarine, which are semi-solid. The orientation of the double bond also has a big effect on the lipid. Cis fatty acids occur naturally in nature and are essential for the body, such as in the use of the subcutaneous fat that occur under the skin for insulation. Trans fatty acids is not essential to the body and increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Let's have a look at triglycerides. These are some of the most common types of lipids and is mainly used as an energy reserve. They have a greater amount of carbon-hydrogen bonds than carbohydrates, which means that the same mass of lipids will yield more energy in oxidation than the same mass of carbohydrates. They are also a good storage molecule, as they can also aid in buoyancy, insulation, or as a metabolic source of water. This is why excess carbohydrates are stored as triglycerides. The tri in triglycerides refers to the 3 fatty acids that are bonded to the glycerol molecule. This causes an ester bond at each hydroxyl group of the glycerol. The 3 fatty acids do not have to be identical and can even vary in length. Now, triglycerides are only soluble in certain organic solvents like ether, chloroform, and ethanol. This is because of the unpolar nature of the fatty acid tail, meaning that they do not have an unequal distribution of charge like water. In phospholipids, on the other hand, one of the fatty acids are replaced by a phosphate group that can also be attached to another organic molecule like choline. The phosphate molecule is polar, which means that this part of the lipid will be soluble in water. This gives phospholipids to form the membrane of a cell. When a small amount of phospholipids are placed in water, they will orientate their hydrophilic phosphate groups to the water and their hydrophobic fatty acids inward away from the water. When a large amount of phospholipids are added to water, they will form a double layer, pointing phosphate groups outward and the fatty acids inwards. This gives the membrane of cells a hydrophobic core.